We are live. All right. So, Jim, the tabletop engineer, thanks for joining me on a live painting session. Um, I'm going to wait just a few minutes to let everybody who wants to join in. If somebody wouldn't mind letting me know that the sound and video is good, I would appreciate it. I'm going to mute my phone so I can at least see that I'm live. But just let me know that the video and sound quality is good if somebody wouldn't mind. So, hope everybody's having a good evening. It is Sunday here in the U.S. It's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So, for a lot of us, this week is sort of a write off because, like, for me, my kids are out of school. So, I'm not going to get a whole lot done. I mean, I'll get some done, but not really. And then Wednesday, family starts showing up. And that will continue through Sunday. So I'm not having a lot of hopes that I'm going to get a lot done, but we'll see. Well, who knows? EQ Bowers, thank you for the sound check. Dirigo, thank you. Lawrence, thank you. Brian, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys letting me know. It's always nerve wracking when you come on. You just don't know if the quality is good, if you're streaming right or not. So, welcome everyone. Tonight I am going to be painting or attempting to paint two minis. One of them is this snake warrior with a laser pistol, and it looks like he or she's got a side holster for a weapon, a little bit of armor. It looks like an eye patch, but I think it's not an eye patch. It's some sort of electronic doodad, probably for targeting. And then the other one I'm going to be painting is this guy right here with two laser pistols. He's got a helmet, got a breathing apparatus on his back. He has this tank. Looks really cool. And again, I don't know if these are going to focus well for you, but we'll see. I took before photos, and I will post the before and after photos on the Tabletop Engineer Facebook group probably tomorrow after the paint cures and after I do any last minute detailing. Typically, what I do is because I'm going to be using speed paints, there's this thing called reactivation where if you attempt to put any paint over existing paint, it can kind of mess it up, it makes it reactivate, and then it smears or just completely comes off the paint. So what I typically do is I wait overnight, and then I add details like if there was an eye that needed to be painted, I'll paint the eye, or maybe a light on a gun or something like that, and then I hit it with clear varnish, a spray can of clear varnish to protect the colors. So sometime tomorrow I'll post pictures of these. But I hope you guys are maybe set up in wherever you are working. Maybe you'll be working along, painting along, crafting along, whatever you want to do. I will do my best to follow the live chat as I paint. But I really want to get started on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point the camera down, and let me double check that you guys can see. Yeah. So I'm going to point it down, and I'm going to put my glasses on, my my magnifiers, and I'm going to get painting on here. And like I said, I'll watch your comments. If I don't see a lot of comments, I'm just going to assume that you guys are working and doing your own thing, which is probably a good thing. So this snake creature, I'm going to start out with the snake skin, and I'm going with magic blue, which is one of the speed paint colors here. I have a purple snake warrior like this. I have a green one, and so now I want to do a blue one. This particular race of snakes, I just pretend they're on a world where the color maybe is something related to their position in society. Who knows? I mean, or it could just be they have the colors of the rainbow, and that's pretty cool too. So I'm going with this magic blue because I seem to recall that it will lighten up a little bit. I didn't want to go with a really dark blue because I want to be able to see the snake skin. And this particular model, the texture on the actual snake is really just really cool. And I think you'll like the before and after pictures when you see how I think this blue paint is going to flow into those scales and give it a really nice textured look. One thing I didn't do on this was I didn't file. Well, no, that's not. I thought that was some flashing, but it's not. It's just the line. I did clip flashing off, but I didn't sand anywhere or file anywhere. I didn't feel like I needed to. Eric says, I'm not painting, but rather working on a cookbook by scanning my grandmother's old recipes into Google Docs. It's going to be a Christmas present. That's nice. That's a cool gift. Um, I remember many years ago scanning in with a scanner. When the player's handbook came out for 5e and the Dungeon Master Guide, I remember sitting at my computer for hours and hours scanning every page so I could have a PDF of those on my iPad. This was well before D&D Beyond or anything like that. It was a good time. For a year or more, maybe it was 2 years, I had PDFs of all the monster manual, the DM's guide and stuff. So I know scanning is time consuming, but it's definitely worth it when you have a PDF or a digital copy of something that's valuable to you. All right, so that is that. Oh, I'm definitely thinking this choice of blue is the right call. This looks so good, and it's not even dry yet, but I can already tell it's looking just awesome. It's filling in the snake skin and darkening it down in that pattern. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we'll see. And it's still wet, so it's not gonna do anything. So anyway, so yeah, that sounds good, Eric. That's a nice gift. I'm sure everybody who has a copy of that is probably gonna love it. I need to. That reminds me, I need to ask my mom. My mom has a nice cookbook that she's assembled of her own stuff. She gives me little note cards and stuff of things, but I have a feeling she's probably got something similar in the works for all of us. I have a brother and a sister, and we love our mom's cooking. So I'm hoping that she'll share some of those things with us. All right. So right now, what I'm doing is one of the arms. This snake, has exposed biceps and very muscular. I kind of find it funny that the snake has a snake lower half, but it has human arms. It's just funny. I guess I guess if you lived in a universe with a multitude of aliens, there's probably going to be all kinds of variations. But I just can't imagine a snake developing human arms, like evolution wise. It just seems weird. Lawrence says, was making a boatload of bricks during your talk with Carl, but now I'm filming my first video. Excellent. Are you going to be starting a channel, Lawrence? I hope so. We definitely could use more crafting channels out there. So I hope that's the case. If not, no pressure on you. I just love hearing when people are filming videos of their stuff. And if you are doing a channel, make sure you let me know where it is so I can help you promote it. Um, those of us who have channels, we're always enjoying sharing other people's channels and spreading the word for them. So Dorigo says Jeff Con looked like it went well. All the YouTube heavy hitters. Yeah, Dorigo, it was very fun. There were a lot of meetings and dinner gatherings that did not get recorded, which is very unfortunate because there were some absolute great conversations between Bill and Scotty and Dan, Professor Dungeon Master and Wylock and Hankerin, and it just some of those conversations are lost to the wind because, for one thing, we couldn't record them because usually it was either too loud wherever we were, like in a restaurant, or we were at Jeff Con and it was just not conducive to recording wherever we happened to be. But yeah, it was fun, and I wish everybody could make it to Jeff Con at least once. Lawrence says, yes, I'm calling it dirty basement terrain. Nice. Nice. I like it. That's good. Dirty basement terrain. I'm happy to send you some traffic by just once you get your channel up and going, let us know where we can find it. And we will definitely, those of us, I'll ask some of the other YouTubers and we'll spread the word for you. I do recommend, and this is just me, you can do it if you want. I do recommend waiting to start your channel until you have at least maybe 3 or more videos to share. Because they say, and I kind of agree with it, is that when you start a new YouTube channel, if you just have one video, it's really hard to get people to maybe come back. They might forget about you or they might not click subscribe. But if you show them that you've got a handful of videos already made and they like what they see, they're more likely to click the subscribe button and come back. Now that's coming from me, someone with only 14,000 viewers on my YouTube crafting channel. I am not a YouTube expert and I don't pretend to be. So I don't take advice from me. Just that's what I heard. Um, and I do not with my low viewer count. I'm not up in there in that 100,000 range. So I may not be the best person to take advice from. All right, so I've got the blue done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside and let that blue dry and go to work on this other miniature. Brian says Jeff Con was very fun. Yeah, it was also good for Brian because he was the killer in a game of a killer game that we were running where everybody who played drew a card and Brian drew the Joker. So he was the killer and he had to get you alone in an elevator or whatever and he could go shoot and kill you. He got me in a bathroom. We both had to go wash our hands with paint. We had tons of paint all over us. I didn't think anything of it. He followed me right in there and he goes, "Oh, by the way, bang, you're dead." I was like, "Thanks, Brian." But good enough for him. Eric says, Jeff Con, I must do on everyone's con bucket list. Absolutely. Eric says, "Hey, I have 14 subscribers. You are a heavy hitter. Got to start somewhere, right? Got to start somewhere." I'm not complaining. I don't build on my channel like I probably should. I think if I really spent time on growing my channel, and I don't know what that means actually, I could probably get my viewership up. I'm not sure I really am worried about it. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm gonna go with orange for his jump. I'm gonna put him in a jumpsuit of orange. I may regret this, but that's what's fun about these speed paints and about just minis in general. You can try things, and if you don't like it, prime it again, and then paint it again, or strip it and prime it. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just sort of going with what feels right. I think an orange jumpsuit would look really cool. Sort of like Star Wars, right? When the pilots are all in their orange jumpsuits. All right. So is anybody painting tonight? I'm guessing Brian might be. I can't confirm that, but Brian sometimes paints when I'm painting. Eric's already said he's working on some scanning of cookbooks, so he's not painting. And we know Lawrence is working on some terrain or a video. Ariana says, I'm painting. Thank you, Ariana. I was hoping somebody else was going to be painting with me. And welcome, Ariana. Hope you're having a good evening. Hope you had a good weekend. I actually kind of like this painting on Sunday night. It's kind of like a way to seal off the weekend. It's like I was pretty productive this weekend. I got a lot done down here in my basement. I got some new videos shot and I got a new series created, which I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll know what it is when you see it. It's going to land this week. It's a brand new play series on Tabletop Engineer Plays, and I'm really excited about getting people to. I'm curious to know what people will think of it. We'll see. The game is very cool, and I'm loving it. It's a solo game, so that should probably be obvious to a lot of you, but you'll know it. Hopefully, you'll know it when you see it when it appears. Dorigo says, "Not painting, having some tea and chilling." You know what? That's fine. Watch me paint. There's nothing wrong with that. I am fine with that. This guy has a lot of armor. Oh man, he has a lot of. I mean, he has like elbow pads and knee pads and shoulder pads, and he has getting down. The good news is I'm not planning on the speed paints. Kind of go where they want, and they sometimes you make a mistake, but some of the things are going to be black, and some of the things are going to be metallic. So those will go over the speed paints without any problem. I'm not worried about mistakes here. Well, I am, but not. But I've got things to cover up the mistakes this time. It's hard to cover up a mistake with speed paints with a speed paint, but um, covering up with metallics or dark like black, just matte black, is easy. You can do that, and it won't hurt anything. And I'm sure how many of you do this? I mean, a lot of times when I'm painting a mini, it's hard to tell what something is on the mini, so you just paint it whatever color you feel, and later on, you might find, "Oh, I painted that belt. That was a belt, not a wire." I don't know. But, like, right now, I'm painting things, and I'm like, "I don't know if that should be orange or not." But you know what? It's orange now. It's too late, and I'm not gonna worry about it. And I am kinda glad I chose that color because it's sorta it's a muted it's a muted orange. Lawrence says I do that all the time. Thank you, Lawrence. Yeah, I'm like, am I the only one who like just dives in and paints a mini and not really examining it with a fine tooth comb to see what am I painting? I do know that some of the pros they'll examine a model like a mini, and they'll take pictures of it and they'll zoom in because they're looking to see like every detail on that model. Like, is that a little button there or is that just a wrinkle in the fabric? Nah, I don't have time for that. I'm just like, paint it, and if you make a mistake, cover it up somehow. All right, that's an orange suit. Now he's got a neck thing that goes all the way around. Now I'm getting into some of the tricky areas. But again, I know I'm going to be painting these shoulder pads metallic, so I'm not really worried about mistakes there. The shoulder pads will be metallic. The belt will get a color. Yeah, yeah. I've pretty much painted. Well, no, there's a little bit more that's gotta be so he has this shoulder pad, but between the shoulder pad and the glove is a little stretch of orange, and gotta get that. Is it on the other arm? No, it's not on the other arm. He's just well, yeah, it is. Golly. Ah, there is a little strip of orange right around the elbow pad and the glove, and I think that's it. Do I paint down to his shoes? Yeah, I'll paint that. I forget what they call that thing. You probably somebody knows it. It's that little strap of leather that sits over a boot. It's below it covers your shin and it goes down over the shoe, but it's not part of the shoe. It's got a name. I can't remember. Somebody's gonna know. Lawrence says I paint my minis for gameplay, not display. You and me too. You and me, brother. That's my philosophy. Paint it to get it on the table and to get playing with it. I am not about perfection. I just want to. It sound like a kid. I just want to play with my minis. I just want to play with them and get them on the table so that they look cool. And I've got so many minis to paint. Oh, that's why half chaps. Maybe that's it. I don't know if they're called chaps though. It's a it's a piece of it's like a very short little piece that just goes over the shoe, and it might be called that, but that doesn't sound like what I'm thinking of. I've heard of another word for it. But, spats, that's it. Thank you. Who said that? Eric. Spats, thank you. That's the word I was looking for, spats. Such a weird word, but, yeah, this guy's got spats that are just riding right over his shoe. That boy you ever some words just make you laugh. You're like, "Who came up with that?" "Ah, that's called a spat, man." Spats. Alright, his orange is done. I'm gonna let that dry and then go back to my snake warrior. So my goal with these videos is to try to get two miniatures painted in 1 hour. I think that's a pretty good, if I could do that every time, get two miniatures painting every hour, that's a good result. But I'm not gonna hold myself to it. All right, so if you'll remember in a previous video, I told you that this Gray Lord Gray is like my go-to for dark when I want to paint something black, but I don't want it to be black. This is a really cool color, but what I wanna do tonight is I wanna try this on a weapon because I don't wanna paint this weapon, silver or metallic or whatever. I wanna paint it matte, and I think this might look really cool because it's gonna be a gray weapon, but the black is gonna get down in all the, like, detail stuff. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that works. I could be totally wrong, and this may mess up, but based on the armor tests I did on that previous miniature, I think it's gonna look really, really cool. And it is definitely my new favorite speed paint color. I just cannot. I think it's just a great way to paint blacks, but without painting black, if that makes sense. I do not like to paint something so black that you can't see it. That it's so loses all the detail. So that's why I've become fancied to this, and hopefully I will be able to show you a picture of it when it dries before this video ends. I just don't know how fast it's gonna dry. Now this snake guy is covered with armor. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of his like his gloves, the back of his neck, which has got this really cool piece of metal armor running right down his blue skin. It's hard to describe, but it's such a cool looking effect. All right, now I got to get down in here and get the gun. And of course, I got his glove, but that's okay because it's going to have a metallic over it. I'm not worried about that. All right, that's probably the best I could do. Yeah, that's kind of cool looking. Um, it dries dark, but it looks it just has this look of I don't know how to describe it. The black gets down in the details and it's perfect. I think it's one of the best colors in the current army painter range. Um, is this graveyard grave what's it called again? Just went blank on it. Grave. Where did I put it up? I guess I did. No, Grave Lord Gray. I'm gonna keep messing that name up. All right, so that's it for the gun. I don't want to do anything else black. Although I may do the gun. You know what? I am. I'm gonna do the holster for the weapon for the pistol in that color too. And then the strap, I'll have to decide if I want to make it black. The black looks really good against the blue. Normally, you wouldn't wear like blue and black. They're two colors that aren't supposed to be put together like in clothing. But on this miniature, it looks really good. It's just because they're so obviously they don't they make the other color sort of pop. So yeah, that's I'm not minding that at all. And finally, a belt that is wider than a fraction of an inch, so you can actually get on it without messing it up. He's got a second one over there too. All right, you know what? I just realized I missed some of his skin. I'll have to go and get that. There's a little bit of skin below the belt and above the holster belt that I don't even know how I did that. Don't know how I missed it, but I did. So I'll get some blue and touch that up. All right, is that good? Now there is an area. There's an area down where his glove, his gun, and his hip all come together. It's way down in there, and it's painted white, and it's driving me crazy. So what I typically do is I just take a dark shade. And in this case, I'm taking this black, and I just get it down in there. I figure if I can't reach it, I'm gonna at least darken it so it doesn't like stand out much. So here we go so far. Let me see if you can focus on that. Tell if you can. It's looking pretty good. All right. Before I forget, let's hit that blue. I'm gonna need a little drop of blue. This is magic blue, is what it's called. I don't need a lot of it. I just need a tiny amount to get down between that belt and his holster. And I have gotten lately, I've gotten really, I don't know if it's just time or not, but my hands don't shake as bad as they used to when I get real close to a detail that I don't want to touch. It used to be my hand would start shaking, and lately I've had good control over my handshakes. And I don't know if that just comes with experience or maybe if I've just maybe I'm maybe I'm not caffeinated enough. Maybe I don't have enough caffeine in me for tonight. All right, there we go. Got it. the rest of his skin. All right, a little bit up in there. You start noticing things you missed. All right, so there's a little bit of reactivation. It looks like it didn't happen there, or it did happen. Or maybe I bumped it with my finger. Okay, so I'm gonna let that gun and holster and belt dry. And then I'm going to hit, actually, there's a little bit extra. I just realized I missed something else. There we go. Okay. Now back to the spaceman in the orange armor. Let's see. What I want to do now to him, I'm not sure about that helmet. I think I was going to go orange and blue. I don't like orange and blue because it reminds me of the Florida colors. I'm FSU all the way. And I, putting a blue on him would look cool, but nah, I can't do an orange and blue. Sorry. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe orange and purple. No, that's two. That would look really wild. You know what? I'm going to do a dark blue. I'm not going to do a Florida blue. I'm going to do an off blue called cloudburst blue. We'll see what this looks like. Lawrence says, I'm looking forward to the upcoming Vallejo speed paints. Absolutely, man. I try never to be married to any one particular brand. I'll try anything. Um, I like these. I like these speed paints from Army Painter. They're reasonably priced. I don't like the Citadel ones because I think they're outrageously expensive. But yeah, you know go with what works for you. You know what? I'm not going to be able to do this because I've got so many mistakes. I'm going to go. I'm going to do this on his helmet and see what it looks like. It's very dark. Wow, that's okay. It's a dark. It's still blue. You can still tell it's blue. It's just very dark, almost a black blue. Wow, but you can still get the hint of the blue on it. And what I'm probably going to do later is hit the face mask with like a baby blue just to give it that glass reflective look because it does. You can't see his face. It's behind a reflective visor. So I'm going to have to paint that, get under his visor too. And this thing looks awesome. This is these are more Die Hard minis, by the way. I know I talk about Die Hard all the time, but I am such a big fan of their minis. And this one is another Die Hard mini. Actually, both of these are. I've got a lot of Die Hard minis that need to be painted. So you're going to be seeing a lot of these until I get them whittled down a little bit, or until I get sick of painting sci-fi models for a little while. All right, that's not bad. I can live with that. Let me get this last little bit of blue. And then I'm going to have to do some touch-ups because I can't paint the blue on his gloves. Do I want to do that? Do I want to paint the rest of him blue? Probably not. I like the helmet, the contrast of the blue versus the orange, but I think for the rest of him, I'm going to go with a dark color. Now, for speed paints, I have Grim Black, and I also have that Gravelord Gray, which I could possibly do that, but I've got to touch up. So when I do touch ups, I have this. Where is it? Where did I do it? I have this Vallejo surface primer right here. This is what I use when I'm just doing little tiny touch ups. I just squeeze a drop out or two, and then I use a very fine brush with a little tip, and I just hit those areas that I made a mistake on. And for this one, there's a lot of them. And thankfully, this Vallejo primer, it dries pretty quick, so it won't take too long for me to get back to this guy. Now, I am noticing sometimes it reactivates some of the colors, so that's not a good thing, but it's allowing me to paint over that area where he has the orange in between the elbow pad and the glove. It's got that real fine line of orange, which I like. Yeah, I did good on that. And then I also need to get, this is gonna be hard. There's a little strap that attaches his elbow pads to his arm, and I'm gonna have to paint those. Those are tricky. Oh, sometimes I hold my breath when I'm doing it, and you're not supposed to do that, but it's a habit. Eric says, I have a ton of minis in dire need of painting. Once I get this project out of the way, I'll likely be working on them too Sunday night. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a lot of minis painted over the holiday week. I don't know. I always say that, and then sometimes I do. Sometimes I get a lot of work done on vacation or whenever I say, "Oh, I'm going to do some painting this. I'm going to take advantage of the time and do some." Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I hate to jinx myself and say I'm going to do it because then it won't happen. But I am going to try. I'm going to try and get some serious painting done um, this coming holiday break. Mainly because since I've got family coming, I'll have not babysitters. They're too old for babysitters, but my kids will have some entertainment with the grand folks and aunts and uncles, and maybe I'll get some me time, or my wife and I will get some time. That would be good too. We take advantage of that and we go see movies and things that we never get to see during the week when school's in session. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just touching up areas that I made a mistake on, touching them up with white primer, um, just so they won't show up in whatever final color I end up hitting them with. I definitely made a lot of mistakes. Some are on his backpack, some are on his shoulder pads, the orange, and I don't know if that orange will show through the metallic I'm going to put on there, but I don't want to take a risk, so I'm going to cover them up. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to have to let that dry for just a little bit. So we're going to go back to the snake and get him going. What time we got? Oh, it's 8:30. Man, I got plenty of time. Yeah, like I said, 2 minis per half hour. Hey, David Arkvane is here. Glad you made it home safe. Was awesome hanging out. Yeah, it was, man. It was so good to see you and Carly. And I'm going to tell you, every time I see you or talk to you, I'm going to tell you thank you for my painting. I'm looking to the left over here. Let me see if I can put the camera up. Hey, everybody. Let me hold on just a second. And I haven't got it hung yet because I want to get it framed. But I hope this will turn. Let's see. Now I might have to turn the camera. Be careful. It's right there. Can you see it? It's on my work table, leaning up against my minis. Um, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it framed, and then I'm gonna hang it. I don't know where I'm gonna hang it somewhere. I'm gonna hang it somewhere where it will feature prominently. So appreciative of that, David. By the way, those of you who don't know, Arkvane is a he's a painter from North Carolina, and he's doing the artwork for Bill. Well, I call him Bill, but y'all know him as Wylock. Wylock has a game coming out. He's been talking about it, and I don't think it's any big secret. It's a cyberpunk role playing game, and Arkvane, aka David, is doing the art for that. So the art will be like consistent through the rule book. And I mean, speaking as someone who consumes a lot of rule books, I love it when a rule book has consistent art in it. I just like it better. I'm not saying that if you have clip art or a mix of different artists in your book that it's bad, because there are books that have a mix and are just fine. But there is something to be said for like a consistent look, and I'm hoping that this book is going to do well for Bill. All right. Oh, that turned out so good. Okay, I don't know if this is going to show up. I'm gonna hold this up here. His gun uh, has dried, and it's dark. And let me see if I can get it better for you. It's dark, and the details are really popping. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad I did that. Now I need to paint the armor, and I have two choices when it comes to the armor. I have one called gunmetal, and I have another one called plate metal. Uh, the plate metal is a little brighter, but I'm going to go with the gunmetal this time only because I do want a slightly darker armor because I want that blue to be what pulls the eye. So we will see. I could be wrong. And you can still apply a dark wash to any metallic. And so if it loses some of the detail, I will go back and hit the hit the armor with some with a dark tone, and that'll fill in the little details and make it look, in my opinion, it looks a lot better when you hit a metallic with a dark tone. Oh yeah, this is looking good. So this snake, man, these snake warriors from Die Hard, I think there's like 4 of them. I could be wrong. There may be 5. I've got 3 of them. I think there's a 4th one that I don't have, and I'm gonna get it. The thing about Die Hard is they do series. They'll do like a series of like the same race or the same like organization, and they'll do them in different poses. So there's this snake race, and they've got, like I said, I think they've got 4 different ones of it. And this guy right here that I'm painting in the orange, he's part of the, I think they call the E Corp or something. I think that was and there's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're like I guess law enforcement group. I mean, you could treat them that way. I just treat them as mercs, but I just like that. I like that they do this series of miniatures rather than a one-off. One-offs are great. Sometimes one-offs look perfect for a big bad or like a unique villain, but sometimes you want to have a consistency. And I got to give a shout out to Die Hard for that. They don't do one of a many; they do a bunch or a style. And if you haven't seen any of their stuff, just go out to Die Hard Minis and take a look. You'll see what I'm talking about. Ah, man. Uh, let's see what else am I got. So, tell you a few things that are going on this week. I've got a 5 leagues video that's coming out. I'm not sure which day I'm going to schedule it. I still have to edit a couple bits of it that I wasn't happy with. Um, Mostly those videos they edit themselves because I just shoot them live and I just shoot them straight through. Like you see all my dice rolls, you see all the mistakes. You'll see me step away like when I got to go get a rule book or consult something or whatever. Um, so there's very little editing. Sometimes I get interrupted by one of my kiddos, and I'll edit that part out so you don't have to watch. But I've got a 5 leagues video. I have a 5 parsecs video coming out. That's just it's not a battle report. It is a pre-rolls for the next battle report. The battle report actually came out this last week. I think I came out on Thursday or Friday. So I hope I'm releasing things at. I know that not everybody's always going to be happy. There are people who are like, "Man, you don't do enough of this video. You don't do enough of those." I just try to do what I can, and I try to give a balance to my videos, but sometimes some games get more coverage than others just because that's the mood I'm in. All right, it's getting kind of tricky getting down in here and getting his sides and his abs without getting it on the skin. Again, not really concerned if I make a mistake. I don't care, but I do care sort of. I don't want it to be really obvious. He has these eye things which are really cool. It's like a targeting thing over one eye, and then it looks like a radio on the other side of his head over where his ear hole would be. Don't snakes have ear holes like right behind their eyes? I believe they do. And this one looks like a little microphone. It's very cool. It's a nice little detail that I just appreciate that they did that. All right, let's see. Yeah, these metallics they really cover up any mistakes you make with the um with the speed paints. All right, now I'm getting his. There's this like neck band that goes all around his neck to hold that armor onto his neck, and it's very tricky the way they've got it positioned in there. I don't want to get it covering the blue, but I do want to get it. Man, that's tricky. All right, perfect. Next thing was I wanted to do his gloves. Now, I know normally gloves are not metallic, but in this case, I'm going to take liberties, and I'm going to paint them that silver or that gunmetal to match his overall armor. And we'll see what that ends up looking like. Could be a mistake. Could be cool. All right, there we go. And I'm gonna probably, like I said, darken the gloves and his armor with a dark tone wash when I'm done. So it will turn out. And by the way, David, before I forget, thank you for those two minis as well. David made these handmade crustacean sea, like, I don't know what you call them. They're handmade. He You can tell he handcrafted them. There's like putty in there, and there's junk bits for stuff. I'm going to be painting those as soon as I get the nerve to do it. They're very they're very intimidating, and they're totally cool. What game is that for, by the way, if you don't mind? I know you told me, but I can't remember. I'm like, I know he told me what game it was, but I just cannot remember. Um, Very cool minis, and I'll take some before and after pictures when I paint those so that people can see. And, that takes some nerve to make custom. Not nerve. It's just skill. I mean, to hand paint or handcraft minis, I'm just blown away. Uh, Brian says I got to playtest Wallach's game and it has a cool aesthetic, and you can tell he's put a lot of thought into his rules. Yeah, Bill is a very detail. I mean, I guess being a nuclear engineer, he's got to be. He does not. He does some really cool stuff. I saw the beta, the real early rules, and they were very cool. I like Cyberpunk. I don't have anybody to really play a Cyberpunk role playing game with, which is unfortunate. I probably will only be able to play it when I'm near him at a convention. Neon Skies, thank you. I could not recall, but I knew you were making them for a game. And if any of you are interested, David Arkvane has not a website where he posts his art, which, by the way, his art's just awesome. You should go check it out. And David, don't be embarrassed, man. If you wouldn't mind, please post your website here so that others can go check it out. I don't know if you're posting pictures of your handmade minis, and I call them minis. They're like 6 inches tall. They're not minis. They're like statues or little like statuettes. I don't know if you're sharing those anywhere, like on a Facebook page. I think you were sharing some on your Facebook page. Maybe not. I can't remember. I know I saw some other than the ones you gave me. But if you are sharing photos of those anywhere, please do tell us where we can go see them, because I'm sure some people on here would like to see them. They're they're very, very well done. Okay, sorry, I'm touching his. Man, this guy looks awesome. I am really pleased with how this one's turning out. All right, so I've got to hit him. There's a belt that I forgot that's got to be done in the Grave Lord. And I'll go ahead and do that now before I forget. And I can't remember. I think that's the blue. That's the blue I did. Grave Lord. I have to do a little bit of drops here. And this one is almost done. He's got a belt that I've got to hit, and he's got I've got to go back over the what do you call it, the bag, or no, the holster case for his gun that he's got. I got to go over that. All right, I think that's it. I think I've gotten every part of him. The only thing I haven't painted is the eyes. He's a oops. He's a snake, and he's got one eye visible, and I'll either do that yellow or red. Probably yellow, because it really pops on that. It'll really pop up on that blue. So let me hit this. Probably reactivating some of this Gray Lord, but I'm just hitting it again because I see where I missed some coverage. All right, so the snake is done except for the base. I'm going to paint that in just a moment, and like I said, I will take some before and after photos for you. All right, snake done. Let's go back and let's hit the blue. So I'm not sure. I may regret this, but oh, that blue is not good. That is just too dark. But you know what? It'll be okay once all the other stuff is painted. So I think I'm going to be okay. So let's paint his knee pads and his elbow pads and see how it looks with getting some dark on here. That or it may make that orange pop up, or it may make that orange look horrible. I just can't tell. This is one of those minis where I say I may reprime it, but I probably won't. I'll probably fix it and make it the way I like it, and then I'll be done with it. I've got plenty more minis to paint. I don't need to be repriming any. Art Vane says that custom Hellbrute is the first mini I've ever shared online publicly. You should share your stuff, man. It's good. I mean, I'm not saying that just because you gave me some. It's good stuff. And the two you made, I lost the brush. The two you made me, the two minis you made me are really cool. And I'm sitting here looking at them, going, all right, I got to figure a way to put those into a game somehow, some way. They're big. I mean, they're like boss monster big. So gonna have to do some thinking on that. Man, this one has got a lot of detail. I may not finish this one tonight. I'm gonna try, but he's got a lot of little tiny details that are gonna have to be hit once the speed paint dries. And this speed paint does not. I mean, it dries somewhat fast, but not as fast as I'd like. Okay, that looks not bad. All right, so yeah, so I've got him uh, with an orange suit and some dark blue black knee pads and a helmet. It's I'm gonna keep going. It's questionable. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm gonna hit his gloves. I want his gloves, his elbow pads, and his knee pads and his helmet all to match. But again, I'm not feeling it. We'll see. And I just made mistake number one. Big mistake. I'm using the gray for his gloves, not the blue. So let's run with it and let's see what it looks like. I can get a little on the gun because I'm going to hit the gun with metallic, so it will cover any mistakes I make with the speed paint. Not a big deal. And that's not going to look good at all. I am not pleased with this. Black, blue, and orange. This is just not. I'm not feeling this one. Ugh. Okay, let's. Let me do. Since I've already done it, let's go ahead and keep going. Let's see. Maybe I'll change my mind. But right now, I'm looking at this going. I'm not feeling it. Uh, the black and the blue are not doing well. But what I can do is I can go over the blue with the gray and change it. It will. Well, I think I can. We shall see. Um, Let me get this glove done, and then I'm gonna do some tests on his knee pads. Let's see. All that's doing is just making them darker, which is okay. I don't mind them getting darker. I don't want them to be blue anymore. Let's see what that's doing. Well, it is making it darker, but I don't know if it's going to get so dark that it's going to cover up. Hmm. Well, let's do his elbow pad since I'm going black and orange here. And when I say black, I'm using that Grave Lord Gray again. Just seeing what it looks like. Actually, it doesn't look bad. The orange and the Grey Lord Gray look good. It's that blue now that's making me irritated. I don't like the look of that blue helmet anymore. So what I may do is prime it and then repaint it with this Grave Lord Gray, which actually is now growing on me. Yeah. All right. Let me do his. I'm going to do his boots as well, and then I'm going to give this one a chance to dry before I may reprime that helmet. I'll do it and reprime that helmet, and then that'll be that. Trying not to get on his spats that I took time to paint. The spats. Now I'm just going to get the boots or the shoes. Avoid the spats. And I did. Okay, good. All right, that's good. All right, that's actually not bad. I don't mind that. He has. Oh, I just noticed got- well, they're holsters, but they have this like skirt like thing on them. It's hard to. I'm gonna hit those with the. I'm going full on orange and black here. We're going except for all the tool. He has a lot of things on his tool belt that I cannot paint right now. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about the colors on those, but I can at least get the holsters for his pistols painted. And now that he's starting to get full of color, he's actually not looking too bad. I was regretting it earlier with all that white, but now it's starting to come together. And I missed some orange. Yep, I did. I missed some orange. Oh well. I'll go back and hit those in just a second. Get his belt. And I may have to touch up the orange. No, maybe not. I thought I made a mistake, but it doesn't look like I did. That's just a there's a strap that I thought it was supposed to be orange, but it's not. So I can actually paint that. And it may come as a surprise to you, but when I paint my minis, sometimes I do talk to myself. So I don't do it a lot, but I have done it. So um, I'm just trying to not make a mistake here and get it where it needs to go. There we go. All right, I like that. Now he's got some things that can definitely be metallic, like the tube coming out of his mask, whatever these weapons are on his chest. David says, I've been picking Bill's brain about starting a YouTube channel. You really should, man. I mean, some of your stuff deserves an audience, and it's really, really cool. All right, I can do that with leather color. He can have, well, no, that's not gonna look right if it's gonna make the items on his belt not pop out. So I want those to pop. It looks like he's got a grenade and some armor on his rear end, some sort of belt. I don't know what that is. I am going to hit his helmet with this black or this Gravelord gray and see what it does. I don't know. It may not do anything. And if it doesn't, I'll go back and prime the helmet. But I'm running out of time and I'm running out of patience with this miniature. So I'd rather just try it and see what it does. Actually, it did darken it quite a bit. That's not bad. All right, I'm going to leave that. All right, let's get the. I can at least get one done tonight if I don't get two. What time is it? 8:53. I got 7 minutes, and I may go a little longer. I haven't decided, but I'm going to paint the base of this black. So I need my matte black, which is right. Where's my matte black? That's grim black. Oh, I'm always losing paints, man. Come on. I know I had black. What did I do with it? Oh, matte black, right in front of me. Snake Boy looks like a gun-toting Wanty. He does, yeah, he does. They definitely have that Wanty look. They're sci-fi though, but that yeah. And this is my like I said, this is my third one. I've got like a little series of them now. I love it. All right. So what I'm doing right now is just painting the base. I'm black. I am going to go back at some point and hit all my bases up with some details and some texturing and stuff like that. But right now I'm just painting them black so that they video well. I mean, you want the miniatures to stand out in your videos, so I try to paint the bases somewhat dark colors so that they don't draw the eye. And but then again, I sometimes regret not doing detail work on the bases because sometimes I love looking at detail on bases. I like to see what people do with them. All right, let's get that. My kids are out of school, I mentioned, this whole week. They are gonna stay up so late tonight. That's what they do. They won't go to bed. I can hear them up there, uh, running around or doing something. I don't know what they're doing. I think they're playing with a dog. I can hear them, and, I gotta go up there in just a minute and check on them. So I think I am gonna have to stop at some point. My wife's working tonight, so I can't just ignore them. I mean, I could, but I'm not that kinda dad. I'm gonna go check on them. I've fed them, and, you'd think that'd be enough, right? But no, I gotta make sure they're taken care of. Alright. The snake is 99% done. The only thing I wanna do is I wanna dot his eye with a drop of yellow, and I'm gonna let that blue dry really well before I do that because I just don't wanna accidentally, reactivate it. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit his body armor up with a dark tone. I think it's gonna look, really good, uh, really good with that dark tone showing all the detail. So that one's done. I'll let him dry, and I'll hit him in the morning with his eyeball. This guy, how many? I got a few more minutes. Go ahead and do as much as I can. I'm going to hit him with the light silver, not the gunmetal, and I'll let the dark tone do the work on pulling down the color, the brightness of it. But I think his guns will look good if I hit him with the silver first, and then bring them down with the dark tone. Somebody, I forget who it was. Somebody told me about this plate. Was it this army painter plate mail metal? It's just such a good metal. If you need a silver that's just did I do that wrong? I can't remember which one. That's it. This is a silver. If you need a silver that's really bright for any kind of metallic, it's the one to get. It is my go-to for bright metallic silver or any kind of metal. If you want, you put this on, and then if you coat it with like a single coat of gold paint or even yellow, it'll give it a. It's bright enough; it'll get a gold. It'll look like gold. And I forget, like I said, somebody told me about it. I tried it, and I was like, "Oh, they're right." I mean, it's got good coverage and it's thick, so it takes a little longer to dry, but once it dries, it looks so good. Trying to get the handle of his gun there, the underside. I'm gonna go ahead and paint his tank while I'm at it, and I'm gonna have to do something with that grenade on his belt, but I don't want to do it in silver. Come up with something else. So he's got this air tank on his back, which is kind of interesting. I think I will do gunmetal for the darker tube, two shades of metal, two different shades of metal for the and I'm gonna do gunmetal for his shoulder pads, their armor, but I'm gonna do them a different. I'm gonna do them in gunmetal, so they're just slightly different color, and hopefully they will be. It will be obvious that they are different colors. All right, so his tank is done, uh, and I said I was going to do the tube in gunmetal, which is this color right here. Oh, it's dried up. All right, let me get a little bit more. I can go another minute or two. All right, so gunmetal is right here. Yeah, this gunmetal is very dark compared to the silver. And I'm just going to use this. He's got this breathing tube that comes out of the back, out of the pack, and comes all the way around to the front, and it goes into his mask. And yeah, that's nice. It's nice and dark, much darker than the silver. I wanted them to be distinct, and it is. So excellent. All right, and real careful here. I don't want to get on the orange. All right, that's done. And two shoulder pads, and I think I'm going to have to call it an evening for this guy. I may have to finish him up tomorrow. Now, just so you know, next Sunday, I'm going to try, keyword being try, I'm going to try to be back for a painting session that night. We have family coming, and I'm hoping they're all going to go away by Saturday. Well, I know they're not. The Alabama Auburn game is going to be playing, but I will do my best. If I have still have some family, I may have to do family obligations. So if that's the case, I do apologize in advance. I will be back the following Sunday, which is not a holiday, and I'll be back the following Sunday with another painting session. But I just want to put it out there that next Sunday um, may not happen. And also, this Wednesday's craft session, I mentioned to it. I mentioned it last week, but I'll repeat it. This Wednesday's craft session is not going to happen because I will have family in, and there will be family activities on Wednesday night, and I will be unable to get away and do a crafting session. So I apologize, but that's the holidays for you. And I will hopefully be back the following Wednesday with a good crafting session, and everybody can see where my tiles. Well, I am going to have to get those tiles finished. I haven't finished them yet, but they're getting there. They're getting close. All right. Actually, he doesn't look too bad. I'm pretty happy with how he turned out. Now I am going to have to get his base painted, his face mask painted, and a couple little details and stuff. But yeah, yeah, he turned out pretty good. Very science fiction looking. You know what? I am going to hit that grenade with the darker, and I'm going to hit that with a blue metallic or the blue wash to give it sort of a to make it really stand out. Don't forget you have other washes, like I have blue, red, green. I have some washes from Army Painter that on metallics they'll give a sheen, and I like to use them. I don't use them very often, but I do like to use them, and they turn out really, really good. So back of his helmet's got a little dart, little dot, little dot. All right. Oh man, he looks. Yeah, I'm not disappointed. He turned out okay. All right. Um. So let's see. Thanks to everybody for coming out on Sunday night and joining me for this hour of miniature painting. It's always, I like to do it just because when I know that y'all are expecting me to be here, it lights a fire and I get things done like 2 minis in 1 hour. So tomorrow morning, I'll finish up these minis, take some photos of them, and share them on the Facebook page. But these minis will be ready for me to play in my next 5 parsecs game if I need a snake creature or some sort of merc here. But there you go. So two done. Um, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. This will be the last time because I won't be doing a Wednesday night craft session. So this will be my last live session with y'all for at least a week or two. So have a really nice Thanksgiving if you're here in the US and celebrating. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be safe. Be safe on the roads if you're traveling to and far. If you're not celebrating Thanksgiving and that's okay. Just know that here in the U.S. things may be a little slow, but have a great week to you as well. Um, and thanks again for joining me tonight. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good evening, and I'll see you painting in 2 weeks, 2 Sundays. Bye, everybody. Take care.